Hi guys, this is Erica Weston with Fox Sports Midwest, and you're listening to my favorite St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio.
Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by Manscaped, the very best in men's below-the-waist grooming.
Oh my God.
Get 20% off and free shipping with promo code LGB at manscaped.com. Look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped.
As the world's only personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment and your DNA, ID Life provides its members with high-quality ingredients backed by pure science.
It's science.
Check out rockinthatidlife.com and speak with Dustin about how you can reach your goals today. That's rockinthatidlife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a proud sponsor of Let's Go Blues Radio. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in their awesome tap room. That's Center Ice Brewery, located in Midtown St. Louis. Let's go Blues! Wow. Welcome to Season 9, Episode 33 of Let's Go Blues Radio. This is our live post-game show following the Blues' dramatic win over the Minnesota Wild this evening. This is the often imitated but never duplicated, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Please check out our sponsors, manscaped.com, rockinthatidlife.com, and centericebrewery.com. They help make this show a lot easier to produce, and more importantly, they have some great products and services. We wouldn't have them as our sponsors if they didn't. So I think I speak for both Bill and Jeff when I say that we are not going to come on here and ask you to buy a product that we don't personally enjoy ourselves. So that's not how we operate. Never have been. So
you don't speak for me.
I'm doing it. Just try and stop me.
Okay. Well, this is the one time I'll allow it.
We're extremely picky about who we allow to sponsor our show, and we're proud to have them on board. Cool companies with cool products. We spent 9 years telling it like it is on this show, so we bring that hard-hitting truth and honesty when it comes to the Blues and NHL, and we're not going to change that when it comes to the sponsors of this show. We're broadcasting live on Wednesday.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt. I believe it's been 10 years, not 9 years, my friend.
Next year's a 10th year.
Next year, September is the 10th year.
Yeah.
September's not that far away.
It's not 10 years. It's not 10 years. See,
I'd say, okay.
Now you screw up the entire intro to be
wrong. All right,
wrong.
let's start over.
To be
let's
wrong.
Start over.
We're broadcasting live on Wednesday, April 28th, 2021. This is franchise episode number 299 all the time. And if you're good at math, you've already figured out that this is episode, if this is episode 299, that means our next episode will be our 300th in Let's Go Blues radio history.
Our 10th.
Our 10th, yeah, our 10th, whatever. It's close enough.
10th,
300th, whatever. Your hosts tonight are yours truly, Kurt Price, Bill Day, and Jeff Ponder. And for your listening pleasure, for the next little while, we'll be talking St. Louis Blues hockey. To interact with the show on social media, we are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just do a search for us. If you can listen to a podcast, you can certainly search the internet. Check out our Discord server, letsgoblues.com/Discord, where you can voice or text chat us with other Blues fans before, during, after games. We are dual live streaming right now on YouTube and Facebook. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the show, smash the bell so you'll get notifications when we go live. Welcome to the big show, fellas. Oh my God. Roller coaster, I guess. I mean, it's an overused term, but yeah. Oh my God.
Dude, going into to knowing that we had this post-game show tonight, Blues go down early. And I was thinking, okay, they got to come back. They, not to get too into the game now, but they score that goal in the second. And I think, okay, that's all we needed. They go down 2-0 at the early in the second. They score the other one, make it 2-1. And you think, okay, we might have some fun on the show tonight.
You would think.
Then they go down 3-1. And you're like, God damn it, we're all going to be miserable tonight. We're going to be upset. Blues are going to get killed. They're going to get steamrolled. And even so, maybe they just lose 3-2. And it was just, no way. Yeah, then the third period happened. What an awesome game that was to watch.
it's hard to even put it into words, even though you just had about 400 of them. It was, I mean, oh my God. So we'll get into that here in a bit. This Blues team, you ain't never know what you're going to get with this team this season.
You know what I compare this Blues team to? I compare it to the Greatest Show on Turf, the Cardiac Cardinals. Like, I'm not saying they're at those levels, maybe, but they play that style that it's just like it's back and forth, and it's just heart attack after heart attack for Blues fans.
Yeah. We got some active chatting going on in the YouTube chat right now. What a game by Derek. Goes without saying, right? Oh my God. I've said oh my God about 8 times already this show.
I've said what a game probably 20 times since the game ended.
Yeah. So we'll have a little more intelligent analysis in a bit.
That's all we got, folks. What a game. Oh my God.
We're just drooling over ourselves, and we completely blew it, blew our wad watching the game and have nothing left to give except
emotionally spent. So real quick here, we got a couple things. Jeff, you wanted to mention something about the Ponder Cup, right?
Yes, for those that are unaware, May 15th, I was given the green light from our friends at Queenie Park at Midwest Sport Hockey that St. Louis County has now said that they can have up to 500 people in the building at once. So anyone who was kind of iffy on whether they could come or not, if you want to come watch some bad hockey, support. Well, I will say, first of all, we're having our 50-50 because we usually do the raffles. We have prizes. We didn't do any of that this year because we weren't sure, what the restrictions are going to be with the county. But we have a 50-50 going on. We're wanting it to be massive. Obviously, 50% goes to you. The other 50% goes back to bethematch.org, an organization that most Blues fans are probably familiar with. So that is something worth showing up for. And I will add that if you would like to reach me, if you can't make the event, you can also Venmo or PayPal me. I'd be glad to give those to you if you reach out to me. And you can buy your tickets ahead of time, and you don't have to be there to win. So if you're interested, it's just $1, 6 for $5, that whole deal. It's a 50-50. Like I said, 50% goes to Be the Match, so that's a big deal. And then I also want to really quick, we are still looking for refs. This happens every tournament. You're probably thinking, wow, you guys are cutting it close. This is every time we run this. It takes until about a week before the tournament that we get people to finally sign up and ref. So if you are a referee and know how to roller skate, we could use your help. It is a paid position. Reach out to me. You know how to reach me probably. If not, email me, jpotter94@gmail.com. Tweet me at jpotter94. Find me on Facebook. Whatever. That's it. That's all I got.
I think we're going to have a fight in the YouTube chat.
Oh boy.
Andrew Tykeson said one of his points he was making about the game. Great to see Sanford and Thomas finally playing well. and Turner Plackmeyer says Sanford playing well. Man, I don't agree. But
Sanford got called out by
he did.
What's his name? Brian Boucher.
Yeah.
On it tonight.
Rightfully so.
I love that.
As well as he should have.
Media calling a local guy out. That's turnover machine getting called out for and absolutely right for Berube to have benched him. Yeah. And I'm betting he's back there next game.
Clem Costin's KHL team, the Avangard Omsk, won the Gagarin. Did I say it? Gagarin.
I think it's Gagarin. Gagarin.
Yeah. Cup today in the KHL, beating CSKA Moscow in 6 games. Kostin had a goal and an assist in the final, and finished with 9 points in the playoffs. Had an awful start to the season. Got a lot of press locally, a little bit anyway, about how he had just hadn't had a point in something like 18 games or whatever it was to start the season. Crazy, but finished, got on track, started and finished strong. I think he finished around 27 points this season. And he ended up being a key player in their in their championship run. So he will be brought over at some point here and may get some playing time down the stretch for the Blues. So, or in the playoffs. So we'll see how they handle him. But I assume he'll be over here at some point.
At this point, I would say about a month ago, it was holy shit. God, his team needs to lose so he can come over here and play. Yeah. Right now, it's like Blues are rolling just fine. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with him. It should be interesting.
I mean, they could easily stick him on the fourth line. Take Sanford out of there. I mean, I don't care who you. I don't care who you put in. I don't care if Costin has 3 games experience or whatever it is. Sit Sanford for anybody and give them a shot instead of Sanford because I'm done. I was done with Sanford a long time ago, and I'm just tired of it. It's every game.
That was a tweet tonight that I admitted that I was going to bring up on the show that I'll just mention now. I am no longer a Sanford apologist. I have stepped down as one of the lone Sanford apologists after his turnover tonight late in the game that could have cost the Blues
almost
the game
did.
in that.
Yeah.
Almost did.
Jesus.
That was my breaking point. I am no longer a Sanford apologist. If he never wears the Blues jersey again, you will not hear any complaints from me.
And it wasn't just a turnover. It was an awful turnover. It was
awful
a lazy little flip pass try to go through somebody. Such a soft little dinky, lazy ass, soft pussy pass. And it got picked off. Oh God, I'm so pissed.
That's something that as a coach, when my players would do that, I would literally bench them and say, "You're done. You're not playing to the next period," because that is something you learn at a very young age that you do not just float the puck up the middle like that.
Yeah, and I think that would have cost us the game had it gone to somebody like Kaprizov but Hartman had a lot of 5-hole to shoot at, and he put it right in the pad.
Yep. The official beers of the episode 299. What are you guys drinking to celebrate this amazing victory this evening? But I don't know. I caught flack last week for going with Bill. So why don't we just last week we went with what we do? What we did last week? Because we're not changing it.
We're gonna go nuts. You know what? Our first person to say their beer of the episode is Cameron Smith in the Facebook chat. He says, my beer of the episode is Michelob Golden Light. What a game tonight, he says. So I guess he's going golfing, Kurt.
Yeah, the Golden Light. Yeah, I could that's a post-golf beer, sure.
Oh yeah.
That's the 100% organic one, right?
It's not bad. I mean, as far as light beers go, it's fine. Low calorie beers, I think it is, right? Isn't the Golden Light low calorie? I mean, lower than most. I thought it was like a Bud Select. No,
probably not as low as Mick Ultra, but
okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think I had it one time when the beer selection at whatever bar I was at was like totally just not good, and I was like, I'll take the Michelob Golden Light. That's fine, and it wasn't too bad. That's all right.
Yeah, I think I was there for that.
That might have been. Where was that? That might have been Ballpark Village.
Stagger? Yeah.
Stagger?
No.
Was it Stagger? Oh, Stagger. I think it was Stagger.
It was Stagger.
Yeah, nothing appealed to me.
I've yet to hang out with you at Ballpark Village. I never make those.
Yeah, well, Kurt and I apparently hung out the same night at the Blues won the Cup, but we never saw each other.
No.
How about that?
That way. Who went first last week? Who went first last week?
It was me, I think.
Okay, Jeff, you go first.
Yeah. All right. So mine is one that we've had often on this show. The best IPA in St. Louis for my money, Center Ice Brewery, The Beauty. Again, we mentioned the art many times, but just a good, smooth IPA that I like.
Bill, sir, what you got?
I am drinking a beer to be named later. Right now, I am rocking the Good and Gather Cucumber Mint Sparkling Water. So I will be partaking soon. I'm doing a little late night multitasking again.
Gotcha. So. I can't think of a more manly drink than a cucumber mint.
This is I bought this on a whim a couple years ago and absolutely love this flavor.
Okay,
it is great at the end of the day.
What's the name of the sparkling water? The no calorie. God damn it.
I'm
Anyway,
having deja vu here. I think we talked about this already.
The lemon lime already? Okay, yeah, lemon lime. That's all
No,
I won't.
It's
La Croix. Yeah. That's what it is. Anyway, so mine this evening is the Leinenkugel Summer Shandy.
Nice.
Which it's
a good one.
It's one of my favorites. Bottle's fine, but man, this stuff on tap, I don't. Sometimes some beers just taste like 10 times better on tap than in bottle. Sometimes, I mean, usually it's better on tap than on bottle. But I don't know what it is about this particular one, but it's like way better on draft. So it's whenever this time of year. I mean, this is summery time of beers, and I see it in a bar. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take that draft. That's good.
It is also great Kurt, in a can after you cut the grass on a hot day. Crush a couple of those.
I can't do beer in a can anymore. It makes me a snob, I guess. I got to pour in a glass.
You are a snob.
Yeah.
I think when I'm chilling outside on a hot day, I'm all about the can. That's when I'm rocking the can. But Kurt, while we're on you, Cameron Smith in the Facebook chat, I don't think maybe he does. I don't know if he realizes the shirt you're wearing. He says, in the words of the letsgoblues.com/shop t-shirt, these guys make me drink.
Yeah.
So yes, that is, for those of you on the podcast, Kurt is wearing the famous letsgoblues.com/shop shirt. They make me drink. It's a Blues logo with a beer bottle. It's very, very well done, sir.
Isn't it funny how famous and infamous kind of mean the same thing?
Yep.
He's not just famous.
I remember one time
he's infamous.
not to talk about my personal life or my professional life, I guess, too much. But one time, and I remember when I was doing some copywriting, I wrote something about the infamous something such and so, and I was told that is such a negative connotation, and I should change the word, and I really need to focus on changing the word. So I came back 20 minutes later, and I came back with famous, and they loved it. Yeah. And I'm like, man, my job is so hard. Literally removed 2 letters.
All right, so we'll dive deep into this game tonight after word from Manscaped. Is there anything better than the fresh mowed grass at the ballpark on opening day? How about freshly groomed balls? Our sponsors at Manscaped, the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming, are here to help you strike out your bush for good. Talk about the ultimate utility man. Manscaped is like the Nolan Arenado of ball trimmers. It's time to keep your testes fresh and clean with the Perfect Package 3.0, which includes the Lawnmower 3.0 skin-safe electric trimmer, the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver spray-on toner for your balls made from soothing aloe and witch hazel extracts. Manscaped even threw in their shed travel bag to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. And speaking of comfort, the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs are also included and will bring your boxer game to the next level. It's a whole new balls game, folks, and Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement. Get 20% off and free shipping with promo code LGB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code LGB. Baseball's back. Don't let your pubes get out of whack. So I guess we have a hockey game to talk about tonight. The Blues.
Oh, we do?
Blues in the Wild. I think so. And the title of the show is the post-game show.
I thought we were talking about the Golden Knights and the Avalanche.
No. I mean, we could. Okay. We can. If we want to, we can do that. But
okay, let's talk about that instead.
I think anybody listening would rather talk about the Blues game. But so let's do that first, and then we'll think about it later.
Okay.
No Parayko for this game. It was he was a game time decision. They thought he might play. Speculation was that he probably would play. That's the vibe I got from the beat reporters, but that did not happen. Minnesota was 17-4-0 at home, and they had won 7 straight coming into this game. Blues had won 2 straight, and the Blues have been a better road team than at home, which is not a secret. So it was a good test for St. Louis tonight.
So real quick, you mentioned the 7-game win streak for Minnesota going into this game.
Yes.
So those wins came, and this is in order. First win we'll start with Coyotes, Sharks, Coyotes, Kings, Sharks. So all teams that they should be beating.
Right.
And their last loss came against the Blues, 3-2 overtime on April 10th. So, yes, good for them. 7-game win streak, that's huge. But clearly, when you play a team that is trying to make the playoffs, and I say that because Arizona does not seem to be trying to make the playoffs at this point, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, would you say that the 3-game win streak that the Blues have right now is more impressive than the 7-game win streak that Minnesota had when you factor in the teams they played against?
I would say it's about. I know this is going to sound crazy. Maybe I'm just sounding like a blueser here, but I'd say it's about equal.
Well,
I mean, 2 big wins against Colorado and then a big win against Minnesota. All three wins came against teams that have already clinched playoff berths. And they're 15 points ahead of the Blues even after tonight.
Yeah,
I mean that's
and their streak,
pretty impressive.
Their streak. It wasn't that long ago where the Blues, if they played well, they had a shot. They were within striking distance of Minnesota. Now, not at all. But no, not even close.
No, I'd say Minnesota, played the way that they should have against those teams and racked up the points they needed to. But it was during Arizona's complete downward spiral where they couldn't, get a point until they played us. And the Blues, I agree with Jeff. It's pretty equally impressive because the Blues are now doing it when they have to do it, but against much harder competition and in a smaller sample size.
Ben H301 in the YouTube chat says, how much did we pay Hoffman this year? He's making $4 million on a 1-year contract.
Which is a lot less than people would have projected him at.
Right. Yeah. He was thinking he's going to make like 6 or 7. So,
yeah.
So first period, I thought the Blues had a great first period. I thought this was a fun first period, a fun hockey game. I thought the Blues played really well. Minnesota played okay. They played fine. But the Blues had the better period. Outshot Minnesota by quite a bit. And Kairu's breakaway chance had Talbot smoked early in this game. Real early in this game. And he should have scored this. He's got Talbot juked out of his jock, right? And Krug sprung him on a great pass, but he shoots way too soon on a cutback.
What do you think he was thinking there?
He had his move down before he even came in. He has while he was coming in, he had his move down. He's like, I'm doing this and shooting real quick, and he did it. Didn't realize that Talbot's sliding out of the net. And if he had held onto it for a half a second more or a third of a second more, he's got a wide open net to slide it into.
I think he thought for whatever reason that Talbot was going to slide a bit more actually, and I think he was trying to go 5-hole. I think that's why he chipped it as quick as he could.
I don't. I think he was trying to go.
Really, at the end of the day, you're right. That's what he should have done. He should have held it for another split second, and you got a wide open net.
I thought he was trying to chip it high, and he kind of didn't get it up in the air at all. But I still, even with that said, if he doesn't have it predetermined, and if he has it, if he's thinking which is hard to do. I mean, it's bang bang, right? But he had a fantastic game as far as chances go.
That whole line, oh my God, they were fantastic.
But he couldn't finish, and even on his goal, he didn't finish. He lost the puck.
I was going to say, clearly, all he had to do was just skate the puck towards the net and not do anything.
Yeah,
and he would have scored in that play.
But I mean, he is so dynamic. At top of the zone, cutting around players, dipping through a couple players, quick cutbacks, little toe drags. He's fantastic, real quick. But man, if he doesn't create the opportunity, but then just doesn't finish, he that time he waited way too long to shoot, and he got stick lifted and stripped away from behind. Was just an example. He's got to learn to get that shot off when he's got the opportunity. I think he just waits a hair too long, and he loses that chance. Which on the breakaway, I guess I'm saying the opposite. Wait, but
yeah.
But still, I mean, when you're in traffic, you got a shot, bang, take the shot.
The positive on that play, let's just say, first of all, Kairu's in the perfect position to receive a pass coming on a breakaway.
Sure.
And he did that multiple times. His goal later, we'll talk about, same thing. Where he's in a perfect position to receive a pass and come in one-on-one with the goalie. But that pass from Torrey Krug, whoo! That's what you signed the guy for. And I don't think, we've talked about him on the show, I don't think Krug has played bad by any stretch of the imagination this season. He's just not putting up the offensive numbers. Well, I'll tell you what, if he can make stretch passes like that to a streaking guy, a guy who can skate like Kairu or Thomas on the regular, I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there.
The thing with Krug is that he's putting up points, is just not getting any goals. They're all assists. He's got 26 points and he's got 1 goal. So they're all assists. I mean, he's tied for second on the team in assists. So
he's Adam Oates.
Yeah. He's
Adam Oates, Greg Janney.
He's involved in the scoring, but he's not, power play wise. He's got 1 power play goal. So no 5-on-5 goals. We talked about that. So it'd be nice if he could contribute, more goals to the situation, but he does have 26 points. So he's, as long as the team scores when he's out there, that's all that matters. Whether he's getting it or not, okay, it's just, that's a different story.
So a couple comments here I want to mention on Kairu. Ben H301, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's a new live listener, at least a new live commenter. If Kairu could finish more consistently, he would be one of the top players in the league. Andrew Tykeson adds, Kairu will get there. He is still learning and getting better week by week. I think, I think Kairu's played fine. I think there's been stretches where he's kind of been lost a little bit, but with the injuries, he's going to still see the ice time. I think he's been great for the most part, but it's a consistency issue. I think if he plays the way he played tonight all season long, he's in the talk for the Calder. It's just, and I'm not saying he'd be better than Kaprizov, but I'm saying he would at least be in the conversation. Because of inconsistency, I think is why we're not seeing him in those conversations.
He started off the season great. He finished very well. The first, dozen games of the season, something like that. First 10 games, whatever it was. He finished great, but he's lost that finishing touch for whatever reason. Yeah. It's like, dude, get some stickier tape on your blade or something because it's sliding off your sliding off your stick.
Yeah.
When you go to shoot often. So I mean, he does all the hard work.
But it worked.
Right. It worked in our favor tonight. But I mean, he does all the hard work. He's got that puck on a string going through traffic, and he goes to shoot and it slides off his blade. I'm like, what the hell? Get that figured out. And he'd have a lot more. What does he have? How many goals he has? He's got figure it out. He's got 10 goals. So he'd have 20 goals if he he'd have 18 goals if he
he'd have 40 goals, right?
I was about to say I don't think he would have 40 goals. That could only be accomplished by Mike Hoffman.
He'd be pushing 20. if he could hold on that puck and he had that finishing touch still that he had early in the season, he'd be pushing 20 goals. So Brodin scores on a point shot. Didn't seem to be, and this was interesting because Lou Korak, Blues beat writer, on Twitter said that on this goal, he said, not sure what Bennington could have done on that shot, which I was like, I kind of tilted my head. I was like, what?
I agree. The
first goal?
Yeah.
The first goal, Bennington should have stopped it.
Thank you. He saw it the whole way.
Yeah.
There was no screen. Maybe it grazes off Eriksson X stick. Maybe. But he didn't get credit for the goal. But yeah. I thought maybe it grazes it and changes direction a little bit, but you couldn't tell on camera if it did, and they didn't give it to him, so you have to assume he didn't. But Bennington sees it the whole way. No one's standing in front of the goal. If anything, I guess maybe Eriksson X sticks gets in his, maybe distracts Bennington, maybe. But if so, that's ridiculous. But he should have had that shot. I
feel like goal. The problem Bennington had on that goal, and Bill, I want to get your take on this clearly. I feel like he was looking to the left of the slight screen in front when he should have been looking to the right. Like he had his head I'm going to see if I can do it here. He was going like this as opposed to this. He wasn't following the play as clearly as he could. He was looking around players, and he was looking the wrong direction, which is why the puck was able to beat him so cleanly. That was the way I read that play. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
here's the.
Let me.
Oh, go ahead.
Even if he's just square, to Jeff's point, with him seemingly leaning the wrong direction, even if he's just squared up, I think he has a better shot at stopping that. It did seem like he was fighting the screen that, a little too hard there. And it was he was in bad position to begin with. I thought on the first two goals.
Correct. I found Correct's tweet. He said, every time I see Jordan Binnington look skyward like that, I get the sense he feels he should have had that one, but not sure what he could have done with that one. Brodin gets the goal, but looks like it took a deflection. So I guess he's assuming it was deflected, but it wasn't. I mean, if it was, it wasn't reported as being deflected, and so.
Well, and if it was deflected, I mean, yes, obviously that's something that a goalie's going to have to fight and make a miraculous save. But to Bill's point, he wasn't in the right position. Even if that puck is deflected, there's a good chance if he's in the right position, he's so close to the net that it still hits him somewhere in his body, in his midsection or something. He wasn't square to the shot, like Bill said, and I think that was the biggest issue with that first goal.
And again, I love this period. Even though the Blues are down 1-0, I was feeling good. I was feeling good about this. I was like, okay, Minnesota got a goal, whatever. We had a really good period. Outplayed them, had the better of the period, outshot them. Just don't have a typical Blues second period, and we should be okay if we keep playing this way. I think that's what every Blues fan thought this first period should have anyway. So. Yeah.
No, I loved that first period. I thought, and this is something I've said about this team. The games they've gotten killed in, even against some of the lesser teams of the division, I get mad and I get frustrated, and it's just, oh fuck, this is ridiculous. They should be winning. But a game like this, even in a time where they have to be winning games, that was such an entertaining first period. If that game would have gone the same way for 60 minutes. And the Blues lose that game 1-0, 2-1, I'm still walking out of that game happy because the Blues played well.
Sure.
So that was the way I looked at that. If that's the hockey we're getting for this game and maybe even next game, hell yeah, I'll take it, win or lose. That sounds awesome. I just want to be entertained. When they're fucking down 4-0 after the first period or 5-1 at the end of the second, that's just not fun to watch. And it's frustrating to watch your team go through that shit.
So we outshot the Wild 13-10 in the first period. It was 13-. It was like 13-6 or something like that at one point, and the Wild finished strong after that goal. And then the second period happened, which was an awful period, a terrible period for the Blues, a good period for Minnesota. However you want to spin it, whatever. It was not. The Wild scored the Blues 2-1 in the period, and it could have been 3-1, could have been 4-1. Less than a minute into the period, Minnesota scores, and I was like, well, shit. We're down 1-0. Now it's 2-0, and now I'm pissed. And now I'm looking back on the first period thinking, oh man, the missed opportunity by Kyrou, who should have scored, and how the game was like drastically changed. We missed opportunities in the first period. We outplayed them. We didn't score, and now they're up 2-0. It's kind of like, I guess you could look at it like the Bruins did in the first period in the final against us, to a lesser degree in this game because Minnesota didn't play as bad as we did in that Cup final game in the first period. But Boston was down 2-0 going in the second, and they played a good period. So at this point, it's 2-0, and I'm like, shit, missed opportunities, right? And I thought, and O'Reilly and Shen on this play both missed assignments bad. I thought, first off, Binnington gave up a bad rebound on this play, I thought. And then nobody picked up Eriksson Ek on back door. Like all of a sudden, O'Reilly and Shen both see him, and they're like, "Holy shit!" And they dart over there, but it's way too late. So because both O'Reilly and Shen are both in the slot doing nothing.
that is so rare too, with those two players on the ice at the same time. I mean, O'Reilly especially. Those guys are very good in their own zone. So to see them both just miss an assignment like that, that's rare. Even in the Blues' darkest days of this season, that's something you didn't see often. So yeah, I'm sure that was something that frustrated them beyond belief. Was it that goal when Justin Falk broke his stick while he was sitting on the bench because he was just so pissed that it even occurred? Was that the third goal?
The third?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. But still, frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
We all felt like Justin Falk, though.
And then Hoffman scores a power play goal to cut the lead in half. So at this point, you're thinking, and real quick power play goal too, off the face-off. And it's like, okay, great, fantastic. Hoffman does it again. Hoffman strikes again, right, on the power play. And every time this happens, now I'm thinking, finally they're using him on the power play like they should, and they're giving him chances. And they're that's granted, this was a kind of a different kind of play, but still. But this power play goal for the Blues, so you're thinking, okay, 2-1, we're back in it. We can get some momentum. We got zero momentum from this goal.
No,
it didn't change a damn thing. And Minnesota just kept coming at us. And then they scored again. Foligno answered from Minnesota just like a minute later, restoring their 2-goal lead.
And like I said before when we first started the show, they score that goal and it's 2-1 and it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, holy shit, the Blues, if they came out of that period 1-1, in terms of goals in that period, 2-1 in the game, that's a win to me.
Sure.
It's, oh my God, they played an even second period. They're only down by one goal going into the third against a team that, the Blues have shown before they can beat. And the Blues clearly have played a great third period for multiple games in a row now. So it's, okay, that's great. Let's just hope that the Blues either can score another one or keep Minnesota off the board. And it's fucking right away. I mean, like you said,
a minute later,
the Minnesota, they come down, they get a couple chances, and you're like, okay, Blues will get the puck, they'll clear it, they'll it's in the back of their net. And it's just, what the fuck? What is with the second period with this team? It's so frustrating.
Well, and it was a thing where they just kept coming in waves in this period. It wasn't. I mean, the Blues were dominated in this period. I mean, what was shots in this period?
Yeah.
The shots were 16-7 Minnesota, and the play reflected that. It was they couldn't get anything going offensively as far as any sustained pressure whatsoever. They were one and done as far as the shot goes. And Minnesota they cycled. It's crazy how each period was like three different games. There's nothing transitioned from one period to the other. There was no momentum from the first to the second for the Blues. There was no momentum for the second to the third for Minnesota. Such a roller coaster up and down game. It was
like three mini games.
Yeah, it really was. And maybe it's a testament to both coaches making some killer adjustments in the intermission, or just teams pushing back like teams do in sports in general, right? When you're down, you push back, you try to. But geez, so second period Blues, pretty much, right? It's been that way for a while. The 50-50 penalty on Scandella, which was hooking. They mentioned this on the air. I thought that was kind of a weak call, but whatever. His stick was in his gut.
I did too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel that way, because I thought that too. I thought he's got his stick up, yes, but he's not yanking. He's not pulling on his hands. His stick's just in the midsection. You're allowed to do that. And they both just kind of fell because they were both side by side skating into the boards. I didn't like that call one bit. I'm happy to hear you say that, because typically hooking calls, I've come to accept that any type of hook at all is just a penalty now. There's no time limit like there used to be. But that one in particular, I'm like, come on, that's a defensive play. He's just tying up the stick. Yeah. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're just Bluesers. I don't know.
No, I thought it was a 50-50 play. I thought both players were just battling, had each other tied up, and Scandella went down, and his stick happened to be horizontal against. They both had each other tied up, and Scandella goes down, and when he goes down, his stick stays up there, and I guess it just revealed to the official, oh, his stick's up there, And so they called it.
I kind of felt like with the call, and I'll say, I think Brian Boucher does an excellent job. I actually love him as a broadcaster. I think he does a really good job. But I like to think that's what Bill Day would be like if he were a studio analyst.
Just bringing it. Good comments.
Well, former goalie,
Sure.
yeah, of course,
yeah, right.
No, I like his calls, but I feel like at first he's like, yeah, you got to call it. That's a penalty. But then when they showed the replay, I felt like he wanted to walk it back the way that he was kind of like commenting about the replay. But it was just like, I already kind of made my point, so I just need to kind of stick with this.
Yeah, I think that not to belabor this point, but it's one of those things it's called the ref catches, just where the stick is positionally, doesn't have to, in this day and age, doesn't have to see a tug. The fact that they go down, he's going to call it.
Right.
It's 50-50. And we've seen worse calls, so.
I and I understand if a player is trying to make a play and the defensive player's stick is in his gut, and even if it doesn't really get in his way, I can see the call being made. But I think in this particular case, the two guys were just kind of battling and had each other tied up, and just to call one penalty, it was kind of a weird to me. That's the kind of thing you just let go, in my opinion. Whatever. There was no goal scored on it, so it's no harm, no foul. But still. Did anybody else? I didn't see this mentioned anywhere, but we're down 3-1, 21 or 22 seconds to go in the period, and we have possession in our own end, and we just kill the play. Did you guys notice that at all? Krug, I think it was Krug, was behind our goal, and he just held it, just stayed there, didn't bring the puck up the ice. I'm thinking, you bring the puck up the ice, maybe get a shot on goal. You got 20 seconds. There's time to dump it in, get a chance. You're down 3-1. What do you got to lose? I mean, granted, yeah, they could come back and score, but you're down 3-1. You're killing the clock for not just like 8 seconds. You're killing over 20 seconds of the clock, and you got time. That bugged me.
Yeah, that my wife typically, doesn't really get too boisterous about the Blues unless they're getting creamed, and yeah, she said the same thing. She's just like, what the hell are you doing? You got 20 seconds, skate it down ice.
Yeah. And
I get let's just get to intermission and not give up any more goals. But that to me is a very defeatist attitude.
Oh, I agree.
It's to you when you're down 3-1. If you're up 3-1, yeah, you kill the clock. But if you're down 3-1, you skate it up. At the very least, get it to the red line, shoot it on goal as hard as you can, and have your guys crash and see what happens. I'm with you. I thought she asked me, she goes, is that just a normal hockey play? And I'm like, well, yeah, but typically when you're tied or up by 1 or 2, you don't do that when you're down. You want to try and push the play. And yeah, I didn't like that play either. I thought that was at least just very strange call by Krug.
Just throw it on net. I mean, you never know what can go in. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, he did that with about 2 seconds left. He finally took a shot from his blue line. And I was just like, where was that 15 seconds ago? Come on, man.
So after the whistle, second period ended, Blues showed some fire, pushing, shoving. Maybe that kind of something happened, fired the Blues a little bit. Bennington and Talbot had words as they skated off the ice, which I don't give a shit what your casual hockey fan or opposing teams fans say when they see this kind of thing. They get all, what a piece of shit Bennington doing whatever. I'm like, I fucking love this. I love the jawing and some of the all-time great goalies have done this stuff. They mentioned that on the air. Billy Smith, Ron Hextall. They did this stuff.
Ed Belfour. Bill Day.
Patrick Waugh did it. You just, I mean, I'm not putting him in the category of those guys, but some all-time greats have done this. This is, you don't see it as much anymore for whatever reason, the pussifying of the league, I guess, but it's awesome. It is a play with an edge, and I fucking love it. And who knows, the little fire at the end of the period, a little back and forth with the goaltenders, maybe it helped a little bit to to motivate the Blues to do better in the third.
Let's get historical here. And Bill, I want to get your take as a goalie, your thoughts on this. But Sanford, Bortuzzo, okay. Bennington and the Sharks, okay. Blues came back, started winning games after both those incidents. What happened tonight? That happens. And listen, I'm not saying it's a direct result, but it clearly isn't the other way. It's not, oh, well, they showed some fire there at the end of the second. Bennington was challenging Talbot, and the Blues got smoked in the third period. We haven't seen that happen at all. So clearly, at the very least, it's a nothing play. And it's not, though. It's clear. To me, at least, it shows the Blues have fire, and they want to win, and they want to compete, and they want to battle. That's what you want out of your hockey team.
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bill.
I mean, I think that, I don't like that, that Bennington has to, do these, get involved in these extracurricular things to pump himself up. That's one part I really don't like about his mindset. When he does it and it works, yeah, it's great. It's fun to talk about, but he's getting to the point of his career, and we talked about this, in the chat a couple weeks ago, that he needs to start centering himself and being able to be a professional and just come in and play through the boring stuff, but still be pretty good at your job. But tonight, yeah, maybe it did help fire him up. But I also think that this team has learned, especially with the recent success at the end of that Colorado 3-game set, that they can play with any team in this league when they put their minds to it. And, we didn't see the second period malaise in the last 2 games of that Colorado set, so it sucked to see it come back tonight. But, come out in the third period and dominate the game, whether Bennington had a direct impact on it, maybe. But I think the forwards played heavy and played the game, putting the pressure back on Minnesota. And what the motivation was, I don't know. I guess we'll have to listen to the post game interviews.
Well, okay. So as a player, when I see my goalie get fired up or have words, hockey players are very protective of their goalies, right? And they will rally behind their goalies, protect them at all costs, kind of a thing. So I don't know. The players see that. They see the discussions on the ice with the goaltender. They see the fire. They see the fact the goaltender cares. It always bugged me as a fan to watch a goaltender, a really passive, unemotional goaltender. He
talking about?
He may get wins every now and then. He may play well from stretches, and he may not need that to motivate himself. But as a fan and as a guy who played in front of goalies for decades, I was like, I loved the seeing my goaltender care and get fired up, because that instantly elevates the emotion of the team around him. That is just a fact. But I mean, granted, you could also elevate the emotions of the other team, but I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. And personally, and maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but for me, it always fired me up to I want to raise my level of play to care as much as the goaltender does. Because like I said, whenever a goaltender gets bumped, shoved, hacked, or gets upset, you're automatically, whether your goalie is right or wrong, you are on his side and you're in the other guy's face defending your goalie every time.
Well, is that not the psychology of the game, though? Is because your goalie is a calm and collective, even a Billy Smith. I'm sure guys on his team looked at him as, he's going to make a big save when we need it. And that's going to be the calming presence we need to go down and win the game, to go down and score another goal, get the big win. Even a guy like Billy Smith, Ron Hextall, Ed Belfour, like they mentioned tonight, those kind of guys. And when you see them have that fire, it elevates everybody on the bench. I mean, again, we talk about fights, especially now since they're so rare. You see a fight happen, and it's every guy on the bench is standing up and banging their sticks. It's because that you're seeing fire from your teammates, and it's even more so from the guy who's stopping the puck. And I hate to say it because I know that I always have to preface this when I say it. I wasn't a Jake Allen hater, but that was the type of Jake Allen play that we saw. If that happened, if this kind of play happened at the end of the second period, Jake Allen's already in the locker room. He's already gone. He's already skated off, and it's nothing against him. That's fine. You don't have to get involved. You don't have to be there. But having a guy who does do that, like a Jordan Bennington, that ignites a team. Now, you can say the same thing about Jake Allen or whoever if they come out in the third period and just stand on their head. That's clearly going to rise the team to another level as well. But if you have a guy who's willing to come out and stand up for his teammates and say, I hate to use the phrase, but we're coming. We're coming after you. We're not just going to let you walk away with this 3-1 win. That's what you want to see from your goaltender. And I think that is a huge ignition point for the Blues.
So in the third period, which I was dreading the third period because the only thing I was holding on to for hope was that, okay, the Blues just have bad second periods, just the way it is. And they have very good third periods. So hopefully we have a good third period. We can get an early one and we'll make it close and we'll see what happens. And that's what happened. Hoffman got a power play goal early in the period from that same area. It's a broken record, cuts the lead to 3-2. And just like that, the Blues are back in the game. And this time, I don't know if it was this goal that did it or if they had it before, but Minnesota didn't take over the game after the Blues scored. The Blues kept the foot down. So, and then Kyrou scores to tie it up off of this was fantastic play by Thomas. Minnesota tries to reverse the play behind the goal, and Thomas reads that, intercepts it, spins around, finds Kyrou alone in the slot, and Kyrou comes in all alone, makes a couple of moves, loses the puck, and it slides 5-hole through Talbot. They don't ask how many, they don't ask how, they ask how many. So I was
I was just gonna say on this one, this is just a bonehead play by the Minnesota Wild. And you sit here and we talk about all the time hockey IQ, right? That's a term you hear. Right in this play, you can pinpoint hockey IQ in Rob Thomas. He reads this play to a T. They win the faceoff, they slide it back behind, and Thomas is just there. He knows what the defenseman is thinking. They want to kill clock. They want to try and work it around a little bit and then start a play up ice. And he reads this play perfectly and then just knows my teammate, the guy that I've been taking line rushes with in practice, he's going to be cut into the net. I need to be able to just look straight to the net and fire it up there and hope that Kyrou is making the same play that he's made 1,000,000 times in practice. And that's exactly what he did. Robert Thomas in this play, and we're going to talk more about Robert Thomas. We're not done, folks, talking about Robert Thomas. That was such a phenomenal hockey play and just showed how smart of a player he is and the difference he can make for this team when he's in the lineup.
That wasn't unlike the goal that Minnesota scored. The Blues won the faceoff behind the goal, and Minnesota stole it, and then ended up scoring a few seconds later. So same kind of deal. And then the Blues had. Go ahead, Bill.
I was just going to say it was Thomas Red Dumba making that play, trying to go around the Brodeen, and it would have been funnier had I got this off right away, but it was like Dumbo was wearing 55 again, so he could be dumbass.
Yeah.
It was he telegraphed it, and a smart hockey IQ guy like Robert Thomas saw it, and kudos to Kyrou for scoring the Sega B button goal.
Nice.
There's the comment of the show, Bill. I was gonna give it to real quick. John, watching the show down in Alabama, absolutely love post-game shows, especially after comeback wins. Thanks, y'all. Thank you, John. We appreciate that. And everybody else, there's a ton of comments going on right now on YouTube. We apologize, everybody. There's a lot of stuff we want to get to, but clearly this is a big game for us to talk about. So thank you, everybody, for watching live. And yes, Bill, 100%. You're right. The B button.
And this was I made a comment on Twitter that the third period, how is this the same team that played the second period? Because the Blues were so much better in this period than they were in the second. Unbelievably better. And maybe Minnesota tries to sit back on the lead a little bit, and the Blues just came at them. But after that early first third period goal, you can't sit back. If you're Minnesota, you can't sit back for most of a period and try and protect a 1-goal lead. You can't do that. So, but
how I know this is a kind of a philosophical question, but how much of this is coaching? And I'm not trying to say anything positive or negative about Craig Berube. The fact that they've had such bad second periods, but then they can bounce back so well in the third. Is it that he comes out after the second period and says, "What the fuck, guys?" and they just turn it on? Or is it I don't know. I don't know what it is that causes this team to play so differently between the second and third period.
Whatever it is, you'd think that they'd be doing it between the first and second to make sure the second is not as bad as it is. Maybe
it's hard to manufacture. Maybe it's something you just, whatever it is, you just can't make it up.
Well, the players don't know what it is. If they did, they'd fix it. The coaches don't. If they did, they'd fix it. It's just a really hard thing to analyze. And it's just mind-boggling and frustrating, infuriating, actually. Makes you want to pull your hair out when you see the Blues come out in the first like they did, played a good period. And the second was just horrendous. And I'll give credit to Minnesota. They played really well. That's part of the deal. But the Blues didn't push back at all in the second. They didn't have an answer. Usually if a team, makes some adjustments and they'll push back in the second and they'll have a good period to start the second if they had a less than stellar first, like Minnesota. But then the Blues would come back. Like the game, hockey is a game of ebbs and flows. One team has momentum for a while, they'll have pressure, get some chances. Then it swings back the other way, and then some teams have longer periods of pressure than others, and then that determines who wins the period. But the second period was all Minnesota. There wasn't. I don't think the Blues had anything. How they got a goal out of that, I have no idea. In that period, just a power play goal, but still.
Bob Burkowski, adding to my comment, says, quote, "Berube is a scary individual." Favorite quote from the announcers. He says, I think that was Boucher that said that, I believe.
He should scare them in the first and second.
He coached Berube. Berube coached Boucher, correct?
In Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So the Blues had a very good period. I tweeted out literally like 30 game seconds before this happened. I said, I'd be perfectly, as a minute and something left, I'd be perfectly happy with this game going overtime because down by 2 going to third, yes, we'll grab that point and hopefully we get the extra one in overtime or a shootout. And then Thomas gets the goal from Hoffman and Kyrou on a little loft pass, a little loft float thing that just kind of bounces, and Thomas is able to, the puck and Thomas are able to bounce through the Minnesota defense, which was, as you see it develop, you're hoping it happens that way, and it did. And then Thomas gives a nice little against the grain flip against Talbot to score with 23 seconds remaining in the game. So the Blues overcome a 2-goal deficit, a 2-goal deficit heading into the third, score 3 goals unanswered in the third or 4 goals answered in the game to 3 goals, right? Yeah. 3 unanswered goals and 4 last 5 in the game. Amazing.
Yeah,
that goal was sick.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Thomas corralling that puck. Unfortunately, it comes on the same night that Austin Matthews got his 35th of the season, and it was a similar play, except he batted it out of like waist high past the guy, and then whipped it past Jake Allen. So
now he's the guy. He's the guy who may get 40.
yeah, right. He and Mike Hoffman.
You're right. He's got a chance.
Right. No, he is the leading scorer at 35. He is likely the only guy that's going to get 40 this year.
Yeah.
So.
Although McDavid, he's on a pace for on a regular season something like 140 points, 130 points,
Yeah,
something like
142, I believe.
It's nuts,
which is
crazy.
I wonder that's Mario Lemieux numbers, and was at 94.
What's
when he came back out of nowhere?
Let's say he were to hit what? Let's say it was a full season, and he would get 142, whatever it is. That's the highest point total since who? It's been a while.
Got to be Gretzky, right?
No, I think Lemieux did it after that, right? No.
Yeah, no. Lemieux's best years were mid 90s, and Gretzky after he had some really high point years for the Kings, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Lemieux.
140. Okay, 161. Mario Lemieux, 1995-96.
There you go. So it'll be
Yep.
25 years if we're
and then
full
before
season.
That, it would have been 130, I guess, for Wayne Gretzky, 93-94.
Okay. Man,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Special player. We do have a lot of chat and a lot of comments in the chat. I don't have any ready to go and queued up here. Let's see. They're talking about
changes or. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they're talking about who we protect in the expansion draft.
Yeah, that was a discussion for a while in there.
Yeah, and Andrew Tykeson says, actually Keith Price says Swedish water makes great coffee. Out of the blue, I guess.
Yeah,
let me ask you.
Little inside joke.
Bill, Jason Miller asked, I love Benner, but that skyward look makes me wonder sometimes, do his teammates ever interpret that as blame? Is he down on himself? What are your thoughts?
To me, I whenever I threw head in the air or head back and looked up, that was always me. Like, that was always on me.
Yeah.
My teammates knew if it was on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It was right at them.
There was a stick pointing and yelling at somebody. Yeah.
Yep, I had I just had a play in our last regular season game of my ice hockey team. But the puck was a 2-on-1, bounced off my skate when the net guy tried to pass it off my skate in the net, and my goalie right away just shook his head. Ponder, what the hell? What the hell? And I'm just like, I already feel bad enough, man. Come on, leave me alone. I know I fucked up.
That's yeah.
So just real quick, I remember that moment after I had started playing defense instead of goal, and I had one of those moments, and Keith Price was in net. There was a shot from the red line that I tried to knock out of midair. It just perfect redirection over his glove. And I turned around and looked at him and said, "You don't have to yell at me.
I know." I made a habit if a goal was my fault or I felt I was responsible for a goal, I could have made a better play, and the puck ended up in our net. I before the goalie could say anything, my bad, it's on me. Sorry, yep. I don't want to get yelled at. I was like, no, yeah, okay, yes, I'll own that every time. I'd rather do that than get chewed out by the goalie.
My favorite was one time it was a couple of years ago. I had a puck go off my skate. It was a battle in front. Guy slid it in front, just went off my skate. Like, I was literally standing like right at the red goal line, and the goalie like looks over and he's like, "Oh, it's just whatever, shit happens." And the referee skates over and he goes, "That went off your teammate, right?" And my goalie looks at me and I'm like, "Did you have to fucking tell him? Like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't want to get yelled at."
The Blues outscored the Wild outshot the Wild 12-3 in the third period. So really nice period for the Blues in the third. They played 2/3 of a game and got away with it tonight against a pretty damn good Wild team. So that enough can't be said about that. So the Blues, they have two. Does Arizona play tonight? I didn't look. They do. They're losing. My God. They're losing again. 3-1 in the first to San Jose. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. Arizona has no interest in being in the playoffs. It is in the Blues' hands to make the playoffs here.
So we're 3 points up on Arizona. We have 2 games in hand. We'll have 3 games in hand after they finish their game tonight. And if San Jose holds on to the 3-1 lead, still early, but if they hold on to that lead, we'll have a 3-point lead with 3 games in hand. And Money Puck already has us at almost 70% to make the playoffs. That's going to be up in the mid-70s tomorrow, upper 70s probably. It is quickly slipping away for Arizona. Because I think last show, or 2 shows ago, I said the Blues needed 7 wins. We talked about this, in the last 13 games, the Blues would need 7 wins. And later on, I broke it down. Okay, how can I get these 7 wins? And I had 1 win against Colorado in the final 3 against Colorado. Well, they got 2, so that was good. That's a bonus. And then I had 1 win against Minnesota in the 2 to end this month, and they have 1 already. So that's gravy. So the Blues are doing a very good job of finishing strong and getting points against really good teams, and Arizona is not. So I think you can safely start making your tinfoil Stanley Cups to carry into Enterprise Center for playoffs. They're going to make it. They are.
Maybe.
They're making it. They're making it.
Okay.
Do you know the scenario that has to happen for if Arizona loses tonight? The scenario that Arizona will have to win out. They have to win their final 6 games, and the Blues would have to only win like 3 of their final 9 or 2 of their final 9, something like that. Because so if Arizona wins out, they have after tonight they have 6 games left. That's 12 points. That would put them 9 points out of the Blues. So the Blues would have to. They have 9 games left. The Blues only need 4 wins plus a tie, 500 record. So, and that's with Arizona winning all 6. So if Arizona loses once, they go 5-1. The Blues, they can lose like 6 games. They got it. They got it. I'm not worried about it anymore. I was dead set worried a month ago. Now,
I think if they win tomorrow night, I will be much more confident.
It's already done.
Okay,
yeah.
Already done. I'm just looking at the scenario. I mean, it's hard for Minnesota to catch us.
Arizona.
You mean Arizona?
What did I say? Arizona.
You
said Minnesota.
Okay, sorry. It's hard for Arizona to catch us based on they only have 6 games left, including tonight's game.
Look at the standings. The thing that makes me wonder, because the Blues have played Minnesota so well, even in the first game this year, I think it was a 2-0 win for Minnesota. I thought the Blues played well. If the Blues had games throughout the stretch earlier when the Blues were struggling, how well would they have played against Minnesota? Because they've played them great, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously they had the one shellacking game, but beyond that, I thought the overtime game they played well. I thought tonight they played well. It makes you wonder if they had these games early against Minnesota, how much closer would these standings be at this point? I'm not saying the Blues would be battling for second place or anything, but would Minnesota have 65 points at this point? I don't know. It's interesting with the schedule that they have this season. It really has a lot of what ifs, if things were different.
Brandon Thomas says, write it down, 4:28, 10:15 p.m. Kurt Price says, it's in the bag. It is in the bag. It's done. The Blues would have to go on an epic collapse to not make it. And Arizona would have to almost win out. I think it's going to happen. The points wise, we're 3 points up. It looks close. Those 3 games in hand are massive. So, and it wasn't that long ago, Colorado had a few point lead on Vegas, but Vegas has gone on a tear. 9 straight wins. Colorado, with the 2 losses to us, now they've fallen 4 points behind Vegas. They only have 1 game in hand. So Vegas, I mean, they're in the driver's seat as far as winning the division is concerned. Would you guys? Now we're going to finish 4th. That's where we're finishing. So, would you rather play Vegas or Colorado?
Yes,
Colorado.
give me Vegas.
No,
Give me Vegas.
give me Colorado because it depends on who's in net for Colorado. But right now, Devin Dubnyk is the Devin Dubnyk that we can beat. He's having a shit game tonight, and he's really turning back into the Devin Dubnyk that was in San Jose earlier in the year, not the guy that was hot just after the trade. So if Grubauer comes back, yeah, maybe I want Vegas.
I've been quoted on this show as saying I want the best matchup and what's the best hockey. And back in the day when the Blues were losing to the Blackhawks and Kings every season, I used to say, give me Blackhawks every year because I want to beat them. I just want to beat them. Vegas, it's not that. It really isn't for me. I think the Blues can beat Vegas. I'm not a big believer in that team, and I've said that for last year and this year. I think if the bubble doesn't happen, I don't see them making the Western Conference Final. And I've said this multiple times. I think they're a lesser team this year than they were last year. I think that they downgraded by signing Pietrangelo. Not a knock on him, but the talent they had to get rid of to make room for him. Nate Schmidt was their best defenseman. How much better is Pietrangelo than Nate Schmidt, at least on that roster? He's better, but he's not heads and tails better. So I want Vegas. I think they're ripe for the picking. The only thing that bothers me with Vegas is their goaltending is phenomenal. Robin Lehner has been great. Marc-Andre Fleury has shown time and again to be a playoff performer since his collapse in Pittsburgh about 6-7 years ago. He's been the guy in the playoffs. So that's the one thing that bothers me. But I think matchups and just overall, I could see the Blues beating Vegas. So I'd welcome Colorado too because that'd be great hockey. But I want Vegas.
I don't know if it's recency bias, but the last 2 games against Colorado, along with what Bill mentioned, the goaltending issues that they have right now as far as health is concerned, and as far as Vegas's goaltending being superior, and also the fact that Colorado has not gotten it done in the playoffs yet. They've kind of been a disappointment in the playoffs. So, and that makes you wonder if they're kind of like the Blues of the past, where they'd have a great regular season, one of the best teams in the league, and then flop in the playoffs. It happened a lot. So even with a stacked team, right? So, I mean, until Colorado proves they can go deep, I don't know. I'm part of me wants them. I'm trying to think of a weakness with Vegas right now. I as compared to Colorado, I see weaknesses with Colorado as far as injuries go because they've had injuries in the past. They've had injury problems all season, and in past playoffs they've had injuries, so they have a health issue. If you're asking me now, I think I take Colorado, but if both teams are fully healthy, I think it's a toss-up.
Well, let's not forget who coaches Vegas. A guy, to me at least, who has proven, Pete DeBoer, that he is not a playoff coach. He doesn't understand matchups in the playoffs. So I think we saw that with the Blues and Sharks a couple of years ago, the way that he kept shelling out players who clearly were injured and could not compete even at 75%. That's another reason why I want Vegas. I know they look great right now, but I think in a month, we might be singing a different tune.
What if Dubnyk's in net for Colorado? Would that change your mind, Jeff?
No.
It would absolutely change my mind. That's a deal breaker for me. I think that's a huge, and because I mean goaltenders can win you a series all by themselves. So and Vegas has that. So that's
Vegas
the only
has,
thing for me.
Vegas has that twice, right?
Yeah.
I think that either Laner or Fleury could steal a series for them.
You know what? Goalies can also cost you a series.
Right.
In a 7-game
series. That's what Dubnyk would do.
but how do you not know Laner's not going to fall on his face? How do you not know Fleury's going to fall on his face?
True. I mean, it could happen.
You never know. You never know. In a 7-game series, you don't know what could happen.
But if you're going to put money on a goalie faltering of the three, who's it going to be?
Right. It's going to be Dubnyk. Right.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, like I said, it's almost a toss up for me. But if I had to pick, I'm thinking Colorado right now with the you're not sure exactly injury wise how they're going to be because they're dealing with some stuff right now. So are we. So most teams are, but I think Vegas is pretty healthy, are they not?
Yeah, they are now that now that they got past the COVID thing and Petro's back, they're very healthy. The thing that scares me about Vegas, a matchup with them, is and Kurt mentioned the recency bias. Well, they've just destroyed us over the last 4 games, and the Blues had no answer and have no answer for the team speed. I think when it comes to goaltending, I think Vegas, especially Pacioretty and Stone, are in Binnington's head a little bit.
Stone.
I mean, he scored a goal off Devin Dubnyk's back tonight, and just to make another point about Devin Dubnyk, just completely out of position and trying to anchor himself out of position, gave a perfect bankable shot to Stone, and Stone took it. That matchup, Colorado, we were able to wear down. Their speed is they've got obviously McKinnon, Burakovsky. Big thing that we didn't mention about the Colorado games, Rantanen's not in the lineup. He's if he comes back healthy, it's going to be more difficult to play them. But on their back end, they've got Makar and Girard who can move the puck and are quick. Vegas just has team quickness that it's not just left to 1 or 2 guys, and that's the thing the Blues haven't had the answer for, and that's what I would fear having a matchup against them.
We're going to get into some Today in Blues history discussion and then we'll touch on the couple of wins versus the Avalanche, the huge wins that we had. But first, here's a word from ID Life.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Put that energy drink down. Don't you know that common energy drinks contain high levels of caffeine and other harmful ingredients that can lead to increased blood pressure and heart rhythm disturbances? Finding that energy you need for everyday activities doesn't need to put your health at risk. ID Life's energy formula doesn't use artificial ingredients or a massive dose of caffeine. Energy's caffeine levels are released slowly over time, allowing for longer periods of energy without crash, not to mention keeping your heart safe. Energy also includes neurotransmitters for mood, focus, memory, and cognitive function. ID Life also added antioxidants associated with brain health for no reason besides perfection. With RockinThatIDLife.com, you can get an energy boost and leave the heart risk behind. Text Dustin at 636-393-8745 or visit RockinThatIDLife.com and throw those gas station energy drinks in the garbage. That's 636-393-8745 and RockinThatIDLife.com and tell Dustin that Let's Go Blues Radio sent you.
I have never been an energy drink guy. Like the canned, like the Monster drinks and stuff like that. Never been.
Oh yeah?
Never been it. It's not for me.
Huh. Yeah, there was a short period in my life where I pretty much drank one every morning. It was basically my coffee. And I had energy. It felt great until about 1 o'clock. And the way that I attributed it was, you just need to eat. You just need to eat lunch. And I ate lunch, and guess what? I'd be more tired after. because that's how we are. We function less after lunch, and it's man, those things do not work. They work for about 2 hours, and then you just feel worse than you ever did. And I'm glad I haven't had one in years, and I'm glad about that because, whoo, man, those things take a toll on you.
Some people live off them. Some people drink them every day.
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy.
So
3 or 4
before we
a day.
move on, I want to. I asked Kurt this before the show started. Bill, I'm wearing a hockey jersey tonight. I want to see if you know what this is from. I'm going to step up here. Take a look. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, it's Mighty Ducks 2.
Yep. Huh?
Your Gunner Stahl.
Gunner Stahl.
Yeah.
This is a birthday present.
Yeah, Kurt's cousin Jeff, at one point in his life, could have been the Gunner Stahl body double.
Identical.
Oh, nice.
Identical. It was nuts. Aren't they friends on Facebook now?
I think so.
I think Jeff said they're friends on Facebook now.
Yeah.
So today in Blues history occurs of the STL Blues History Tour account. April 28th, 1990, Brett Hull scored his 12th and 13th goals of the playoff season in the St. Louis Blues 4-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. The 13 goals by Hull in the 1990 playoffs is still the Blues record for most goals in a playoff year. The Blues were bounced in the second round by the Hawks that year, so Hull only played in 12 playoff games. So he had 13 goals in 12 playoff games. Who knows how many goals he would have put up had the Blues gone the distance that year. He was on pace to break the record for goals scored in a playoff year. Granted, they would have had to face Edmonton, who eventually won the cup that year, and then Boston in the final if they had gone on. So, but that was tremendous showing by Hull, and it's a shock we lost. You lose when a guy scored 13 goals in 12 games. Jeez.
Yeah, but that was the era. And
you lose 5-4 games.
Yeah, and on the Hull point, today is also the anniversary of him scoring his 36th career playoff goal, which was noted as an NHL record. I think that was a Mike Comito tweet earlier today.
Jeff held up the incredible Hull Sports Illustrated cover when Hull was on back in, was that 90, 91?
Oh, geez, that would have been 90. Oh, hang on. I'm not seeing it.
It's a date on the front cover.
Date. I'm not. It's not on here.
It's got to be.
It's a collector's edition.
I mean, if it is, my frame might be covering it.
Oh, that's probably it.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Anyway, April 28th, 1970, the Blues beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-0 in Game 5 of the semifinals, which is the equivalent of the conference finals, I guess. Today, Frank St. Marseille recorded his first playoff hat trick, and Jacques Plante set the NHL playoff record for shutouts with his 14th. Plante made 21 saves on his 21st wedding anniversary. The Blues would go on to win 4-3 in Game 3 in this series and head to the Cup final for the third straight season in only their third season of existence. And they would eventually get swept by Boston, as everyone knows.
Keith Price asked me real quick, seen the new Mighty Duck series? I have, Keith, and I love it. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think it's a lot of fun. It's great seeing Gordon Bombay back.
I haven't seen it. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, I responded to Keith in the chat. I've watched 3 episodes, and it's exactly what I thought it would be. It's Disney, so you know what the storyline's going to be. It's the underdog story, and you somehow have to make Gordon Bombay the underdog, even though he's the hero in all the other movies. It's great. But how about Dylan Playfair? Like I'm just waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to he used one of the lines from Letterkenny. He referred to somebody on his team as a pheasant, and I'm like, oh come on, Bush Spector, let go. It didn't happen.
I keep waiting for more quotes like that from him, but I haven't laughed at anything else. He's just kind of your typical hockey douchebag, which is a shame.
Yeah.
I need to check out Ted Lasso. Have you?
Oh yes, you do.
I've heard it's
my God.
fantastic.
I
may watch an episode
that.
tonight.
Yeah, I slept on that, and every fucking episode of that show got so like you laugh your ass off, and then you're like, wow, that was really good. And every episode got better. Like, I haven't had that kind of reaction to a TV show in a long time. I love it.
I watched the YouTube like trailer for the series. And I'm like, oh my God, how have I not watched this? And everything you read about it is just fantastic. So after the show tonight, great. I may stay up and watch an episode or two.
Yeah, great casting. Very Jason Sudeikis.
So funny.
Is fucking hilarious, and everybody else that they got just plays pretty much the perfect role.
The synopsis, if you didn't know, is an American football coach goes over to Europe and is coaching a European football team, which is soccer. Knows nothing about soccer really, and hilarity ensues apparently. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
April 28th, 1967, Falstaff Brewing Company purchased the St. Louis Blues TV rights. That was interesting. Falstaff is no longer around. Correct? They're gone, right? So it's a shame. I'm very curious as to what Falstaff tasted like. Probably like Budweiser, I guess.
Probably like Stag.
Probably like Stag. Yeah, I like Stag. I'm a Stag guy. I never had hams. From the land of the clear blue waters, sky blue waters, I guess.
Yeah. That's my grandpa always had hams in the fridge.
You know, when I had my beer can collection that was tragically lost during the move, I had a Hams beer can that was shaped like a keg. It's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Love that thing. Yeah. But it's gone. So tonight's not tonight. The previous two games before tonight, the Blues had two huge wins. In the span of two games, our playoff hopes went from, if they play really well, they should be able to get in, but it's a tough month, so we'll see. And they went to, we're definitely getting in, as far as I'm concerned. Apparently, Jeff's still on the fence. But after the second win against Colorado, I'm like, we're in. That's it. It's happening. And that's not me being a fair weather fan. I can halfway do math, but so Saturday's victory was a lot like today's in a way, where we're down 2-0 early against Colorado, and came back to win this one. Stormed back actually a lot quicker, down 2-0 in the first period, and then up 3-2 by the end of the first period. So that was another roller coaster period, and stuff you don't see too often. The Blues are doing that a lot lately. Giving you something you don't see too often in games, which is, I don't know, kind of cool and kind of maddening at the same time.
Yeah. When this game was going on, this was a Saturday. This was the Saturday afternoon game. Yeah, I tweeted because I literally, had stuff going on with my son. We were, playing games and doing stupid stuff that father and sons do on Saturday. And the Blues game comes on, and I got him all excited. I jazzed him up for the game, and then they go down 2-0. They take those two stupid fucking penalties. The Bortuzzo one.
That was awful.
Just come on, man.
The high stick.
The fuck?
The high stick, it's a Shen's high stick, right? I don't blame him too much because it was a stick lift. It was a stick lift kind of a thing, and he had one hand on a stick, and it was a stick lift, and it kind of rode up and hit the guy in the face. I was mad about it, but I wasn't enraged like I was with the Bortuzzo one, which was a stupid ass penalty. Dumb.
Right.
Yeah. So I tweeted.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, go ahead.
You're on.
No. Okay. All right. No. So I tweet and after they go down 2-0, I just said, fuck this. I've got stuff I could be doing, and I am not one to just turn a game off. Anybody who knows me. And, it's already it's 16 minutes left in the first or whatever it was. And I'm just like, I'm done. I'm not going to spend my afternoon cursing at the TV, ruining the day I've already had with my son. And so I turned it off, and I went to turn on Batman, the animated series, which is something the two of us just sit and just watch because it's the best fucking show on television ever, and you can fight me on that. And he seriously, he got mad and started yelling at me and saying, hockey. And so then I said, all right, I'll turn on another game. And so I went to turn on another game. And then I thought, you know what? If he just wants to watch hockey, I'll just turn on a Blues game. And so I just turned it back on. Boy, am I glad I did. So I can thank my 8-year-old son for making me turn back on the Blues game, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have seen any of it. Because I was like, I'm not going to pay attention to Twitter. I'm not going to pay attention to Facebook. I'm just going to spend the day with the boy and do something fun. And I'm glad he made me turn it back on.
O'Reilly was caught on camera as being very pissed over the second goal, and it was a goal that he was partially responsible for. A guy that was his man, who's was scoring, so he was really pissed. Basically, went to the bench and said, "Fuck this shit." Put the team on his back, made up for his missed assignment, and scored the next 2 goals to tie it, and then ended up getting the third goal as the empty netter late in the game. So. And his second goal was a thing of beauty. The first one was off a defenseman's skate, whatever. You take it, but the second one, oh my God, the nice little dipsy-do backhand over Dubnyk, who was cheating across, expecting a pass, and O'Reilly beat him high near post. And Dubnyk, puts his head in the air, kind of like Bennington does when he's beat on a play where he was just the guy. Either he should have had it or he should have known better. So I thought that was pretty cool. McKinnon tied it in the second on a power play. So you're thinking, okay, second period, woes again, 3-3, but that's as bad as it got. So and then Hoffman ended the 5-on-3, the 2-man advantage, the 5-year drought.
5-year drought.
Mike Hoffman scores on a 5-on-3 to end that drought, to give the Blues the lead again. So. Again, on the power play. Or not on the power play, 5-on-3. So
yeah, the fact that it broke that drought, he gets credit for 23 goals.
Yeah. Yeah. It was power play, 5-on-3. So, but his office, again, so they're using him the way they should.
Bill, how long were you waiting to make that joke?
About 5 seconds.
Comedy's all about timing. I thought Colorado looked pretty impressive in the loss, to be honest. I thought the Blues willed their way to victory in this game impressively. This was a good hockey game. I thought Colorado scared me in this game like they usually do, but which was interesting. Come Monday's game, Colorado didn't scare me in this game. The Blues either made some adjustments and shut things down, which I think was part of it, and Colorado didn't play as well. So I mean, they had an off game maybe. So Blues skated 11 forwards, 7 defensemen in this game. No Dunn, no Parayko, and insert Santini and Mikkola. It's for their first. Santini's get his first game with the Blues. I thought he didn't get a lot of ice time, but I thought he was fine.
He was all right.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I guess with the defensemen, if you don't notice them and they're defensive, I guess that's good.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If any defenseman, I don't care if they're offensive or not, if you don't notice them, then clearly they did their job. Even a Vince Dunn type. I think if you're not saying, what the hell kind of pass was that, Vince? Then he probably played a good game. So yeah. I'm good with that.
I thought this was a statement game for the Blues. They played a very good game. They didn't have a down period against a very good team. Against and a game that you could have seen them losing this game. They just won the game before. And so they're getting some points, and I could see a letdown. No, they played a good game, a solid game. McKinnon, Landeskog, and
wait, I just want to add to that I think talking about tonight's game, I think tonight was also a statement game in the sense that Minnesota hasn't played since Saturday, and the Blues stepped in, and yes, there was times where Minnesota second period mostly where they looked like the better team, but at the end of the day, in 60 minutes of hockey, the Blues came out on top, and they played And it's not just that the Blues played on Monday. It's the fact the Blues played the Colorado Avalanche the last 3 games. It's one of the best teams in the NHL.
Yep.
And they were able to come out and get the win tonight. Just another big statement game by the Blues Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, I thought both of those games were, what I have been waiting to see from this team. In terms of the will to push yourselves, and play in the big games and win the big games. We all know that they have the talent to do it, and they just haven't put it together. But to see them do it when it counts, when they're fighting for a playoff spot, gives me hope that we're not just going to go into the playoffs and get completely steamrolled. So it's regenerating that hope. It'll kill us eventually.
It will, but you know what? It's a lot of fun.
It is a ton of fun to watch. When you get a game like that, we're doing a post-game show and they come back and tear it up in the third period to win.
You know how pissed I was? You know how pissed I was in the second period? I'm like, we're in a fucking post-game show after this piece of shit game.
Yep.
And
we've had nights like that where we've had to do a post-game show after a terrible loss, and we're just like, God damn it. Yeah. I hate that we already told people we're going to do this because I don't want to.
But we have had a few winners. The Roar Bacon game. That was our very first post-game show. And we said we're doing a post-game show. And it was the same kind of thing. It's like, God damn it, we're doing a post-game show after getting blown up by the Hawks. Oh, no. That was the Roar Bacon comeback game. Holy cow.
Yep. That
was fun. McKinnon, Landeskog, and Makar in these last two games, were a combined -9. I'm sorry, -16 in the 2 games. There were -9 in this game, the last game. So -16 for those 3 guys combined last 2 games for the Blues. So that just shows how much the Blues kind of walked all over them after Colorado went up 2-0 in the first game.
It's unfortunate in terms of being a hockey fan that we've seen so many defensemen like Cale Makar come through and just dominate in their first couple years, and then either teams figure it out or they start having injury issues and things don't work out. I feel like if anyone's going to break through that mold, it's going to be Cale Makar. And I'll say unfortunate again. Unfortunate for Blues fans because he is going to be in the same division as the Blues. That dude is a dynamic defenseman. I can't think of it. Maybe Nicholas Lidstrom was the last one I could think of who skates as fluidly as he does every time he has the puck.
A generational talent on the back end. What we were promised Eric Johnson was going to be.
Right. Yeah. They said in the broadcast that Makar is going to be such a dynamic player. And I'm like, he's already that. He's already one of the best defensemen.
There.
He's already there. In no time, boom, he's there. What was he, like 23?
And he's not a Gostisbehere or a Shattenkirk or even a Dunn in the sense of they can produce offense. He does both. He's great. He reads the play better than anyone I've seen.
Yeah. High hockey IQ and uses his speed to make up for any gaffes. Just that the play where O'Reilly walked him, that is the exception to the rule.
Right.
It was awesome, great play by O'Reilly, but you're not going to see a whole lot of that from Makar.
So Bennington made a rather interesting save in this game that I thought was kind of funny. That he made a 2-pad stack save. Right. And so, which you don't see a lot anymore, but you used to see it all the time, and it has a name, right? Yep. So it was so funny. I thought, it's almost like you can tell someone's age by how they react to that kind of a save. And I wonder if the Blues Twitter account, the Blues official Twitter account, said, "Oh my gosh, what a save! What are we going to call that save, guys? Let's hear some suggestions." I'm like, it has a fucking name. It's called it's a 2-pad stack save. It's what it is. It used to happen all the time. It's like the account's being run by 18-year-olds because they've never seen hockey before 2000.
It's I loved the post game interview about that, where he said his dad texted him and said, "I've been waiting your whole career for you to break that out." The way he said it,
So
the old man texted me.
Yep.
yeah, so unfortunately for me, and I don't know if you guys might be the same. I mean, obviously, yes, we see that back in the day. The last Blues goalie who pulled that out constantly and was the only good saves he ever really made. First of all, if I were to say that, who would you say that was?
Only good saves he ever made.
So he wasn't clearly a very good goaltender for the Blues, but he was pretty good at the too bad stack.
Is he a friend of the show that may have been on?
No. So you're going to say
No?
Curtis Sanford?
No. I was going to go Millsy.
Oh, Millsy. I was more frequent than Millsy for me. Reinhard Davis.
Oh, I don't recall.
Reinhard Davis, he pulled the two-pad stack a lot, and it usually worked. But clearly that's all he had. So it was just...
would you say the last
awesome save,
the last goalie that we had that was from that era that used that a lot that was good? Joseph, would you say?
Joseph did use it frequently.
He used a lot. He had a lot of a lot of weird tweaks with it. A lot of weird things that he did. He'd shoot the puck like off his knee with it, like use his knee as a fulcrum for a little snapshot thing.
Didn't have the upper body strength to to throw the puck around the boards. I can relate.
Yeah.
I always, when I think of a Blues goalie pulling the two-pad stack, Greg Millen, two-pad stack poke check. That and catching the puck between those Winlight pads that they wore, and holding it. He was the only guy that I recall who made 20 saves a year, where shot comes in, he catches it between his pads and falls down and freezes the play. It was, to me, that was his signature move, but number 2 was two-pad stack poke check.
Bennington stopped 59 of 63 shots in the final 2 games against Colorado. The Blues have outscored the Avs, and this was mentioned on the air. They've outscored the Avs 5-on-5 on 5-on-5 play this season. So let that sink in. The Colorado has blown the doors off of us a couple times this season, right? But they do their damage on the power play mostly. So 5-on-5, we've had the better as far as goals go. So that's interesting. That is actually maybe another reason why you might want to see Colorado in the playoffs. Stay out of the box. Oh, you never know.
But the key is to stay out of the box.
Oh yeah. If you put them in the power play, I don't care who you are, you're losing. If you give them too many power plays, they're just too good.
They remind me of the Vancouver teams from like the mid 2000s.
Vancouver.
How it was. It was fucking. It's Sedines. It was whoever else was up there. Naslin. Yeah, those guys. It was like every time they had a power play late in the game, they were gonna score. And but if you kept them off the power play, you were gonna sweep them in 4 games. That's all they had was the power play. And I'm not saying that's okay. Colorado can beat you even strength, but the Blues have shown that they can grind them out and they can beat them even strength. They just got to stay out of the box.
We're late for a break, so we're going to go and hear from Sunrise Brewery. Sunrise Brewery is St. Louis's only hockey-themed brewhouse. Stop on in during the next game to experience the ultimate hockey fan brewery while sampling various hockey-inspired beers, such as Old Arena Lager, the Beauty IPA, the Rotating Pale Ale Series, or seasonal offerings such as their Imperial Stout, their Lime Sherbet Sour, and much more. While you're there enjoying any number of their fantastic beverages, you can admire the bar top and tables made of authentic arena wood and the actual penalty box door from the old barn. Located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis, it's one of the best places to watch a Blues game, or any game. Visit CenterIceBrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in the tap room. Center Ice Brewery. Let's go Blues. Please drink responsibly. As far as the outlook, goes for the Blues and down the stretch. We've talked about this a little bit. Those 2 wins combined against Colorado, combined with Arizona's Monday night regulation loss to San Jose. And let's check in on the score with Arizona right now. They are 3-2 San Jose. Game's half over. So when we wrap this show up here in a little bit, you guys can maybe check out the Sharks and Coyotes game, and the end of the Vegas and Colorado game, which is a 4-2 game there. Vegas beating Colorado.
Or if you're totally podcast addicted, get into Teal Town After Dark.
Yes. Yeah. You got like another hour plus before they're hour and a half before they're going to go on though. But yeah.
I'm hoping to be asleep by then, but that's just
before the game tonight, Money Puck had our chances at 69.4%. I pull them up right now. There are playoff odds. They are currently 81.5%. So there you go. They're moving flatter. Remember, it was just a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Where we were like in the teens, I think.
Yeah, I thought we were in the single digits.
Might have been. And Bennington says here we're coming, and then they started playing better. Had that 3-game hiccup where they lost a few in a row. Played good for the most part, I guess, in those games, but they couldn't get a win. And then, they've been moving up. So 81.5%. Odds are pretty good. Hell month is almost over. So after starting the month 0-3, the Blues have gone 6-3 in their last 9, which puts them at 6-6 for the month, which is pretty good considering this is a brutally tough month. So what do we say before this month started? With one game left in the month to play, if the Blues can play 500, they'll be in good shape.
Yeah,
I think we said that, and they are right on the money for that. So,
and
I
think we said they needed 7 wins out of 13 or something.
Their last 13, 7 wins would get them in. That's what I was saying. So I think that's pretty accurate. So we'll see. They may get more than that.
It was said on this show, so clearly it was accurate.
Oh, we bring it. We tell it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got.
We want to get some comments. We got a shit ton of comments we haven't read.
Let's do some comments.
Okay, let's see what we got. First of all, there's a lot of Facebook comments here too. Adam Gold, friend of the show. I think the Blues get fired up when they see Binner go throw down and act a fool up in here. I think that's 100%.
You have to say that as white as possible. Right.
Right. I think Jeff did. I think he did.
I did as best as I could there. Derek in the YouTube chat says, I think we were making the playoffs with less wins than the losses in OTLs. Combined, that should be the case, right?
What was the question? Sorry, I was reading another text.
We're making the playoffs with less wins than losses in OTLs. So they have 22 wins right now, 19 losses, and six
OTLs.
overtime losses.
Oh yeah,
they could eclipse that, but I think they will. I think he's right.
With as far as what's having more wins than losses, like combined losses.
Less wins than combined losses.
Oh, right. Yeah. We'll probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
We'll
see.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying. I mean, it's overtime loss is a loss. So,
Derek says Kyrou will be protected in the expansion draft. We talked about how the chat here has been the expansion. Let's see. There was some talk about Perron, and I wanted to get to it would be funny. This is from Andrew Tykeson. It would be funny if Perron goes to Seattle, plays out his current contract, which ends next season, and then re-signs in St. Louis again, I believe for the 4th time from a different team. So yes, that would be his if that were to happen, that would be his 4th contract signed as an NHL player, and they'd all be with St. Louis.
That's got to be a record.
That's insane.
To
play for as many teams as he's played for, and to say that every contract he signed would be with one team.
Now that's if he does that, but yeah, that would be a record. I'm pretty sure it's a record now. Just 3 contracts with the same team and
That's
no
a new state record.
and no contracts with any other team. That's hard to do.
That's crazy.
That's hard to do. What else we got? Oh, Austin Lynch said that when they showed the Robert Thomas goal on the Jumbotron at Busch Stadium, the stadium went crazy. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Very
Yep.
cool. Still scrolling through. So there is a lot of comments here, and we love it. Thank you everybody for commenting tonight. Keith Price says, I was talking hockey with some random people who knew a little about hockey. They asked me what icing was. Couldn't help myself. Slap shot.
Oh, eyes in, the puck go down.
Icing happened.
Yeah. Yep.
How's it go, Bill?
Icing happened when the puck come down, bang, before the other guys. My arm come go out and play stop and start again.
Awesome.
Keith Price says, I totally forgot about how the beer can collection was lost. Shoot, what happened again? Kurt, I have the answer. I helped you move. I stole those cans. I have them.
No, wrong move.
Yeah,
I've been there for all 3 of Kurt's moves.
Wrong move, Jeff. That was a move before.
Damn.
It was.
I tried.
And if you had stolen it, you would have. I would ask where my full can of Sapporo beer, Japanese beer, is, because they had a full can of that, which was probably disgusting because it was years old. But there was a question. I think it was from Andrew. Yeah, Andrew Tykeson. Going to discuss the Turner Sports deal. He has a take. Does he give it after that? Let's see. We are going to discuss it. Oh, okay. Okay. Here's my Turner Sports take. What if Turner Sports deal is the first step in getting hockey back in their headquarters city of Atlanta? Huh. I don't know.
Interesting. I think Atlanta got a shitty fucking turn with the Thrashers. They were poorly managed from the start. They had one season where they made the playoffs, and they were swept by the New York Rangers. That was the year Keith Tkachuk was traded there. That city deserves better hockey. I really believe that, and I really would love to see the NHL go back there. I think the fans, there are some great, passionate hockey fans in Atlanta, but unfortunately, two failed teams.
Yeah.
Talking about football, same thing here in St. Louis.
That's what people say here.
Don't.
You lost 2 teams. You can't get a third one.
I just don't see it happening. But I'd love to see it happen, but I think it's a long shot.
Yeah, I don't see the NHL ever trying again. Not that the NHL makes big political splashes, but right now I don't want to see them try.
Yeah, right.
Anything else that's going on down there, but
good point.
I agree. The Thrashers fans have just been screwed, but it would be some kind of poetic justice if it were the Arizona Coyotes that wound up in Atlanta. Full circle.
So, speaking of the Turner Sports deal, so in addition to the ESPN network getting the rights to air NHL games next season, TNT and TBS will also broadcast NHL games next season. So it's a 7-year agreement that was reached on Tuesday to air NHL regular season games, Stanley Cup playoffs, and Cup final games. So, and I mentioned before the show that this is going to be essentially competition with the NBA on those channels. So I wonder who's going to get preferential treatment for games on those channels.
Yeah.
I think
NBA.
Yeah.
Because those are NBA stations.
It's the most popular, the sport that's gained the most popularity over the last 20 years in the world. So it's hard to argue with it, but if they try to grow the brand, that'd be great. But I'll tell you, really bad first step when one of your first tweets promoting it, you put Alex Ovechkin out there and the captain of the Oilers, except that you put fucking Andrew Ference in the tweet.
Yeah. Yeah. We discussed this before the show, Bill, before you joined Kurt and I. Yeah, it's like, Oh, hey, it's a white dude in an Oilers jersey wearing the C. So that's clearly
Right.
Connor McDavid, right?
Right. He wears 21, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
haven't
So
seen it, folks, I don't know if it was taken down yet, but I know Yahoo Sports, they have a screenshot that they posted. And oh man,
Yeah,
that's
which
bad. That is bad.
Andrew Ference hasn't played in the NHL in 5 years, and he's
Yeah, and the first response I saw was the story you referenced last week. Somebody said, if you're going to use a picture of Andrew Ference, use this
Right.
one. And it was him giving the
Right.
double bird to the Maple Leafs fans.
it was the Canadians. It was the
Canadians, Canadians, yeah.
right. We talked about that last show. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the other thing that worries me about the deal is the potential cross marketing of wrestling with hockey, because T isn't Monday Night Raw. That's a
TNT.
TNT. And one of the first things that I saw, one of the first times that I think the first time that I learned about the deal was a Wyshynski tweet at one of the wrestlers saying, I think it was Chris Jericho, saying, now we can look forward, if that deal happens, we can look forward to, Jericho coming into the booth during the game.
Oh, look forward to?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I mean, whatever. and you people thought Pierre McGuire was bad.
Yeah.
I only have one thing to say to that, guys. Woo!
Oh, don't be that guy. You're that douchebag on Twitter when someone complains about the Woo that posts all the Woo gifs.
I think it's you know what I think it is? I think it's that one in every 3 hockey fans has to yell woo at hockey games. I guess for the 3 of us, that's me. No, I do it. I do it because I'm a ridiculous asshole who loves to make people pissed off, especially Kurt and Bill. So that's the only reason I say it. I will never say that at a hockey game, so you don't need to worry about that.
That's yeah. The NHL player safety has just tweeted that you will have an in-person hearing tomorrow.
Let's go Blues radio play host safety
in person. So we don't get the phone call. We got to go in person.
Right. No, hockey podcast safety has tweeted. Jeff Ponder will have an in-person hearing.
Are we going to the box?
Oh man,
We'll
Blues hockey podcast must get called in every week.
Yeah. So and there was I didn't catch the full story. Did you guys hear this about Canada-U.S. border restrictions extending into the playoffs? Did you hear about this? Discussion of neutral site for games is being considered if that happens. So
all I heard was that they may not have the restrictions lifted basically by then. So they're going to have to, because I was hearing a story today. Sorry, Bill. I know you have comments on this, but I was hearing a story today about how none of the Canadian teams have been vaccinated yet. Is that true? Nobody on the Canadian teams?
Then they should have to forfeit their right to play in the playoffs then, if that's the case.
Well, I think I haven't seen that story, but I know that there was a lot of uproar when there was some, before the shortened season started, that there was a chance that the NHL was going to have all the players vaccinated. There was a lot of uproar, especially in Canada, about how players, NHL players shouldn't be jumping the line in front of everybody. At this point, everybody should be vaccinated. It's available to everybody. Go ahead and fucking vaccinate them. They probably just don't want to do it in season because they don't know what the effects are going to be.
But is that the case in Canada though? Is the question. Like right now in America, we're saying everyone has the opportunity to be vaccinated. Is that the case in Canada?
I don't know. It could possibly be. I know that they've got the AstraZeneca is available. Pierre LeBrun tweeted out that he got that the other day. So I don't know. Maybe they are somehow magically we got in front of Canada in vaccinating the
and that's what
nation.
Yeah, that's what boggles my mind is the fact that how long during this pandemic have we been, Americans been saying, oh, look at what Canada's doing. Canada's clearly got this figured out way ahead of us. And then now I'm hearing that Canadian teams are not getting vaccinated. I mean, I don't know about the Blues, but I know that the Avalanche have been fully vaccinated.
Well,
the Cardinals have been fully vaccinated.
The last I heard, Canada had a supply problem with the vaccine. Now that's been a couple weeks ago, but
yeah,
I'm guessing that's the case.
Well, yeah, and if they have a supply problem, then it would be really bad looking. Even if the players wanted to get vaccinated, it looked bad if they were vaccinating those players ahead of other people that needed it. So,
right.
Well, no, they can't do that. I mean,
no.
Listen,
now if
we can bitch all we want that you need to get this figured out for the NHL playoffs. You need to be focused on your citizens and who needs it more. So clearly, if there's an issue, they need to take care of that. But I mean, the thing that boggles my mind is the fact that it's almost May of 2021, and you're having a huge supply problem up there. That's an issue.
That's the last I heard. But that was a number of weeks ago. I'm not sure if that's been resolved. But if it was like it was down here, granted, where now anybody can get the vaccine that wants the vaccine, just go get it. That's all you got to do. So if you haven't received the vaccine, by the way, go get the vaccine, please.
Right.
If you want things to return to normal, like everybody does, the sooner more people get vaccinated, the sooner we'll get there. So you can't bitch and complain about things not being back to normal if you're actively, purposely not getting vaccinated. That's you're part of the problem. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's true.
Agree with that point completely, but I think that maybe at this point the NHL could it would be more appropriate than say before the season when even healthcare workers hadn't been vaccinated yet, for the NHL to do something to enable all of the all the Canadian teams, at least the playoff teams. It's pretty clear who's going to make the playoffs. Montreal could still fall off to Calgary, but those top three teams, go ahead and get your guys vaccinated at this point. You're pretty well locked.
True. I was looking up to see if I could find out anything on the Canadian players not being vaccinated, but I can't find anything on it. So not sure if that's a thing or not. Any other comments we got, guys?
Oh God, I'm sure we do. Austin Lynch, Robin Lehner was pissed off. He was skeptical, but the NHL was going to lift some restrictions, so he got it. Talking about the vaccine, and then the NHL didn't lift anything, and he's pissed off at the NHL.
You know what? You should. That's an interesting take, because so he's pissed that he got the vaccine. That's a weird thing to be pissed about. In the end,
he's pissed that the NHL didn't lift anything after he got the vaccine.
Well, that shouldn't be the only reason he got the vaccine, though.
Yeah, I agree. Get the vaccine so you're safe for you and your family.
Yeah, or anybody you come in contact with. So that's, I mean,
that's why I got the vaccine. My mom, and listen, I don't know what his situation
I want to do shit.
My mom's in her.
That's why
my mom's in her 60s, and every time I've gone over there for the past couple months, I've been, oh God, I hope I don't have anything to pass on to her, because she's got some medical issues. And so now that I'm vaccinated, I'm like, I feel no issue going over there. And that's what I want. I want to be able to, like you said, do whatever the fuck I want. I want to be able to go to the store and not feel like I'm going to cause anybody any issues. I want to go see my mom and not have to worry about giving her something that I might be passing on.
You want things to open up. You want to be able to go into a restaurant like a normal person, like we used to, because if everyone were to get vaccinated, we could then go do that again, because the herd immunity thing, we could get there. We started talking tonight,
both vaccinated. We're a week and a half into being fully vaccinated. Are we at feeling comfortable? And the topic was, Blues make the playoffs. They started allowing 10,000 people in. Do we want to get tickets? And,
yeah.
At this point, it's still up in the air. I probably would. Julia might not. But I want to do things. I'm vaccinated, but I still, apart from being scared to go to the grocery store because mass shootings,
yeah, that's another issue.
I hate that I'm laughing at that.
Right.
Well, it's so ridiculous now. It's just out of hand.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I do want to get back out in public, and I do want to, that the time that we went to Center Ice a month ago, that was great. It was nice. It would have been nice, to have a few more people in there. But that night was pretty damn perfect, as far as getting back out in public for the first time.
Yep.
I want more of that, and hopefully, I don't expect anybody to get, motivated listening to our podcast to go out and get a shot, but Jesus, just get the damn shot.
I agree. It's not that hard.
There's not a tracking device in it. If you believe that, you've got bigger problems.
I'm sure there are some mentally challenged people who might actually literally believe there's a chip inside of the syringe that's going in your body, right? I'm sure that there's people that believe that, but any rational thinking person that actually, does anybody believe that actually is a rational thinking person, or just using that as a talking point just to be an asshole? It's got to be, because it's insanely stupid. It's impossible. It can't. That kind of thing can't happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Propaganda is way too prevalent in our society today, and too many people are willing to believe pretty stupid shit.
Maybe, but I think a lot of it's just being a dick, to be honest.
Well, I will say that the three of us being vaccinated, my 2-week period after my second vaccine shot ends on Sunday, and not to give anything away, but we are talking about next Thursday for our 300th episode. Bill, we haven't gotten confirmation from you yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Thursday, 300th episode, we will be broadcasting live together at all at Kurt's house, as far as I can tell. So make sure you don't miss that one. That's a pretty big milestone episode for the three of us.
300.
I was looking at the at what's on the docket for work, and confident enough that I can take Friday off. So
you're talking about taking. You're going to take Friday off. I might have to do the same thing.
Yeah, well, not just because we're gonna have fun in an in-person show, but also we're a family coming in town and might actually play golf for the first time in 8 months, and move my mom into an apartment. So.
Bill, that's so nice of you to invite me to golf with your family. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm in.
All right. Hey, right now it's just two of us, so we can, foursome. We could schedule a foursome. Around 1 o'clock.
Let's do it.
300 shows. Other podcasts have done 300 shows, like fan sports podcasts, but they'll do a 20-minute show, like 3 times a week or whatever.
Yeah.
So we've been doing 1.5, 2-hour shows for years. So actually, if you do the math, I think a podcast that does like a 20-minute show would have to do 1,500 shows or something like that to equal the amount of content we put out there, like minutes wise. So that's what we do for you people.
Kurt, tell you what, if you want to do the math on that in the next week, you can give us exact numbers.
I did the math, actually. It's about 1,500.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right, well, good.
It's approximate, but it's close.
I trust you. I don't think you're lying to me at
1,500. So, yeah, give or take. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming products. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with code LGB. Look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped. And by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment and your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by texting Dustin at 636-393-8745. And tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's hockey-themed brewery. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or to make a reservation in their awesome tap room. Located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis, it's one of the best places to watch a Blues game. That's centericebrewery.com. Please drink responsibly. That'll wrap up episode 33 of season 9 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Is it wild suck or wild sucks? It'd be wild suck, right?
We'll have the answer to that question next show.
So wild suck, let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at sports.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues.